Hey guys, so today we are going to do the review of the KTM Duke 2015 or 16. I mean, like the old Duke. So this is basically a long-term ownership review of the Duke 390. I mean, the old Duke 390. So, so today we are going to do two videos basically. So one is the review of the Duke, and the second one is the Duke 390 versus the Dominar. So Vedant is going to explain his own experience out of this bike. So here is Vedant. I'll just switch over the camera.
Hey guys, so I'm back on Vulu's channel. So this time it's Duke. So I own this bike. I've been riding this bike for last 3 years, and the experience has been positive till now. But there are few things which bother me, and I'll talk about them in this video. So I'll start with the pros first. So the best part about this bike, and everyone should know about it, or probably if you are planning to buy a KTM, probably you should know about it, is the bang for buck. So when I say bang for buck, this is the only bike which kind of gives you the maximum power for the minimum amount of money you invest in it. So when I say that, what I mean is, I got this bike from Delhi. So it costed me 2.1 lakhs on road with a BHP of 42, 43 rather. So if you divide it and try and find that ratio with and compare it to other bikes, so this is the only bike which provides you that kind of power for that minimum amount of money you invest. So I call it a pocket rocket, and it's a very famous term for KTM 390 as well. It's a pocket rocket because a small bike with a huge performance parameters. The secondly, which I wanted to talk was about the whole power thing comes in because of the minimal weight of this bike compared to the power the engine has. So it's also known as power to weight ratio. So this bike has a comparable power to weight ratio compared to the super bikes which we have in 600 cc class, as well as few 1 liter class as well. So the third point, third pro of this bike is the maintenance cost. So I own a Royal Enfield, a KTM, and a Z800. So this lies somewhere in middle. So it is not as cheap as the maintenance is not as cheap as a Pulsar 200 or 180 or 150 or Domino for that matter. But it is not as expensive as a Z800 or probably a 600 class CC bike. So it lies somewhere in middle. So on an average, I would spend around 4,500 rupees on a service. But the service intervals are huge. So average service interval for this bike is for more than 5,000 kilometers. So you can probably calculate how much time it would be. And the time period which is given is 6 months. So either 6 months or 5,000 kilometers. So that kind of takes care of the money you're spending. So in Domino, probably if the service or other pulses, if the service period is small and you end up spending the same amount of 2,500 plus 2,500 or 4,500 in one go. So that's the service cost. The other point which I made a note of, was the agility and the flexibility of the bike, or how flexible it is. So I use this bike to commute daily to office, and it is very lightweight, and you can probably flick it and make cuts here and there, and probably navigate in traffic easily. So it helps you cut through traffic very fast and easy. But there is a con to it as well. So if you're stuck in traffic, there is a lot of heating problems with this bike. When I say heating problems, it is a major problem. If you are riding with your shorts, which is not recommended, but in case you want to ride to a nearby store and you don't ride at higher speeds, this will start heating up and your thighs will go red. And red, I mean red. They are burning red hot. So this bike is not recommended for a stop and go traffic. It is recommended for a continuous moving traffic. Probably average speed of 40, 50 is bare minimum what you need to keep this bike cool. So that's about it, what we have for the pros. There could be many pros. When I said bike is very powerful and there is a great power to weight ratio, so there it can be translated into multiple things. One of which is you can ride with super bikes. So when I say that, that means is it easily goes at 150, 170, and you can probably chase them and probably leave them in initial acceleration moments. So probably if you want a bike which is comparable to super bike performance plus doesn't dig a hole in your pocket, then probably go for this bike. I'll talk about cons now. So When I say cons, the first and the foremost is the heating issue, which I was talking about. So heating is terrible in this bike. So if you see here below, if you could come near, so this is the radiator, so, and your legs are right here. I'll sit and show you where your legs form. So this is where your legs come in. The heated hair goes in between this tank curve and your thigh. So this portion of your thigh gets heated up like anything, and it will give you a burn if you are stuck in traffic. So this is one heating issue which I wanted to talk about, and I'm sure if in the new KTM's which are coming, they've provided a scoop air which directs the air out of air rather than putting it inside and between your legs and the tank. The other is the vibrations. Since this is a high revving engine compared to Pulsars or Dominar, the revs are pretty high. So as in, you just flick the throttle, the rev meter would go from 0 to probably 5,000 RPM in just a second. So because of that, there are a lot of vibrations at initial RPMs. When you're riding in second, third gear in less than 5,000 RPM, there is a lot of vibration, but they subside and they absolutely vanish when you go beyond it. So if you're riding at high speeds, you won't feel the vibration, but otherwise, if you're riding in traffic and in low speeds per second gear, you will feel the vibrations over tank as well as on seat. The third one is the seat. So Bulu, if you can come here and I'll show the hard stone seat here. So this seat is not absolutely not made for touring. Probably if you're riding this bike for 1 hour, it's okay. Beyond 1.5 hour on this seat, it's absolutely terrible. Your butt would start hurting. So the solution to it is you can change the seats. But right now we are just talking about the stock bike. So this bike is not made for touring. The third point is the wind blast. Since this bike is capable of high speeds, the wind blast on a normal windshield, which is I think which is 3.5 inch windshield, which comes as a stock one, it doesn't do anything. It's just for the looker part of it. But if you need a functional windshield, so you probably should get like something like this, which is not really 100% effective, but it would deflect 70% of the wind blast which you were experiencing earlier. So this helps, but it is not the perfect solution. Still, it doesn't take care of that 30% of the wind blast which you get above 120, 130. So that's why I said this bike is not built for touring of 250 kilometers or 300 kilometers. Then there is one more, the tires. I wanted to talk about tires and the pros as well. So this was the first bike which came with the premium tires and at the cost which was unbelievable. So this comes with Metzeler tires in front and back both. So Metzeler tires, for those who are not aware, it is one of the most premium tires available right now in our country as well as in the world. So they are the soft compound tires which provide you a very good grip, whether it's a dry tarmac or a wet tarmac. So that's why I say if you are getting Metzelers for that cost, it's pretty good. And the con related to those tires is since it's a soft compound tire, you won't get a lot of mileage out of them. So my rear tire lasted for 8.5 kilometers, 8,500 kilometers. So that's it. That would be the life of those tires. So there is a kind of a balance you have to maintain, or probably if you want a good mileage out of your tire, then probably you would have to sacrifice for a good grip, or the other way around, if you want a good grip, then don't expect a lot of mileage from your tires. So that's where this time when I changed my tire, this time I got a Michelin Pilot. So this is somewhere in middle. It is not very extra soft compound, nor it is a very hard, on the harder side. So this kind of lasts around 15,000 kilometers. It's not very good with the wet tarmac, but for my daily rides, it's pretty good. It gives me the mileage which I require. Otherwise, if I would have run on the Metzellers and for my daily rides from commute from office and back home, the Metzellers are not really built for that. They are built for race use or the track use. So probably I would recommend everyone to, once you get the Metzellers off, and if you're not really extreme in your riding, then probably you should go on tires which gives you a average mileage of 10,000 or probably 12,000 kilometers. So that's about it. I think I've covered all of them. And yeah, I forgot one more. So headlight. So headlight of this bike is okay, but now when I'm looking at Dominar and others, I feel this is way lower than what the expectation should be. So when I bought this bike in 2013, at that point of time, I felt the headlight was okay. It was not extra bright, but it was okay. But now when I compare it to the new Dominar or probably Pulsar 200 NS or 200 RS, So this headlight seems to be very weak. So I tried changing the bulb inside. So now I have a white color Omax bulb. Still, the headlight is not satisfactory when you're riding in night. So I feel the need of getting a fog lamps or getting a powerful HID in here. So that's one con, and I think it's met with the new Duke 390 and 200s which are coming. They have the LED lamps in them, so they should be powerful enough to deal with this con. That's about it, guys.
So, guys, you just heard Vedant speaking about the good and bad bits of the KTM Duke 390. So, hope you like this video. So, if you like this video, please give a thumbs up. And you can actually, if you have any feedback or any questions about this bike, you can just comment down in the comment box below. And please do subscribe to my channel for further videos like this. And the next video is going to be a difference between the KTM Duke 390 and the Dominar 400. Thank you, friends. Thank you so much for watching this video. Have a great day. Bye bye.